Hey, how's everyone doing? My name is Jason Whitehead, and today I'm here to give a briefing on presentation skills. Now, presentation skills are skills needed to make successful speeches and briefings. These skills include physical behavior, use of voice, and credibility. Now, physical behavior is what the audience sees when you're talking. It also involves eye contact, body movement, gestures, and facial expressions. Now, when it comes to physical behaviors, there's a lot of do's and don'ts, but I'm going to start with the don'ts. The first one is to don't look at one person. Also, don't if you're talking to a crowd, don't look at one area or section of the audience. When giving a briefing or speech, don't look just at the back of the audience. Another one is when giving a speech or briefing, don't play with your hair. Don't mess with your body parts. Don't play with your cell phone or jewelry or etc. Also, when giving a speech or briefing, don't pace back and forth. If you're using gestures in your speech, don't be fake with your gestures. Also, don't overdo your gestures. The last one is when giving a speech or briefing, don't look uninterested. Now, a good example of a don't would be a video on YouTube called Bad Public Speaking Example 1. In this video, you will see a female giving a speech about marketing. And throughout her whole speech, she's basically playing with her hair and just looking down at her paper the whole time. And when she does decide to look up at the audience, she's only just looking at one area section of the audience. Now, I think that's a good example of a don't. Now, now the do's of physical behavior. One of them is when giving a speech or briefing, to look people in the eye. And if you're talking to a crowd, look at the different parts, sections, or area of the audience. Also, if you do decide to move when giving your speech or briefing, move with a purpose. Also, when if you're giving gestures, make sure that your gestures are natural. A good example of this would be to act as if you're speaking to your family members or friends. Also, when giving a speech or briefing, smile. It helps warm the crowd. It helps warms the crowd. The last one would be to match your expressions with the content that you're giving. Now, a good exercise that can help you with this, with body behaviors, with physical behaviors, I mean, is to use a ball. A good idea would be to use a group, and what you want to do is have one person speak, do their speech or briefing, and while they're giving their speech or briefing, the group will basically pass the ball around while that person is giving their speech. And while that person is giving their speech, their job is to basically locate the ball at all times. Now, the purpose of this would be to teach that speaker or the speakers throughout the whole time to look around when they're giving a speech. I think it's a good exercise to do, and I believe it will help you. Now, the second one is the use of voice. Good voice contains quality, intelligibility, and variety. Quality is how your voice is perceived by the audience. Intelligibility is the understanding of your speech. Good examples of those are articulation, pronunciation, pauses, and grammar. Now, variety is when you change your rate, volume, force, and pitch. Also, when it comes to using voice, there's also a lot of do's and don'ts, but I'm going to start out with the don'ts also. The first one is to do not mumble your words. The second one is when giving a speech or briefing, don't talk low or talk with a low pitch. And also, the last one is when giving a speech, Don't use words such as like, and all. Now, a good example of a don't would be a video on YouTube also, and it's called Boomhauer Calls 911. Now, I don't know how many of you remember the show called King of the Hill, but if you do, there was a character named um, Boom Boomhauer, and when he talks in a mumble and very fast, and it was very hard for people to understand him. But in this clip that you will see, if you do, if you can, is he's trying to call 911 because there's a superstore in this area, and basically the superstore explodes, and he's calling for help. And while he's trying to tell the operator this, she's basically keeps asking him, can he repeat that? Because she can't understand him. Now, to me, I think that's a good example of a don't of the use of voice. Now, when it comes to the do's of it, the first one is to pronounce your words correctly. Also, when giving a speech, talk formally as if you're in an interview or meeting. Also, when you're speaking, make sure that everyone can hear you and understand you. The last one would be to use pauses instead of using the words like, and all. Now, another good exercise is to do tongue twisters before giving your speech. It can kind of help your mouth, your jaws, and other parts of your face help you with the words. So when you do give your speech, you have less difficulty trying to say words. Now, the third and last one is credibility. Credibility is about gaining the audience respect and trust. It's also about being an expert about your topic of speech. It's also about building and maintaining your reputation. Credibility also about showing excitement and joy in your speech. And another one is being able to adapt to situations. And some of these situations could be such as you getting lost when giving your briefing a speech, or basically before giving your speech briefing, overdress or have extra clothes just in case you have to change maybe for the code of the dress code if they do have one. And also another one would be to being able to adapt to interruptions. The last one would be being sincere by being honest and truthful. In conclusion, in order to be effective in your speech or briefing, you have to have good presentation skills. If you have good physical behavior, use of voice, and credibility, the audience will be entertained. Now, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Have a good day.